Hello, I'm your host for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. I'm Kendra Cook, and this program is brought to you by the Dolores County Broadcasting Network with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association, which is the special district association responsible for bringing the area free to access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station. If there's a news story or event information that you would like to share, contact us. Call and leave a message at 970-677-4119 or email me dcbnnews@gmail.com. And if you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the transmission for February 25th, 2021, DCTV Daily News. The Town of Dove Creek meeting was held last Thursday on February 18th, and as reported in the DC press, it was fast-paced and productive. Committee assignments were discussed, starting with Trustee Rick Gersh discussing progress on the Community Voice OHV ATV motorized tour that is planned, if approved, for June 26th, the Saturday before the Pick and Hoe. There's a video of the proposed path on the Dove Creek Press website. Gersh stated that he met with Sheriff Don Wilson and Emergency Manager Keith Kiesling in preparation for presentation of the proposed plan for the next Dolores County Board of County Commissioners meeting, where the Community Voice is seeking special approval to use the county roads for the event. Gersh also discussed the progress of the planning on the gravel grinder event that the Community Voice is proposing for fall of 2021. Gersh also told me personally that he is not involved in the event. He is just providing planning information and opportunities to meet with people and know what the processes are. And that event in the fall of 2021 is intended to be a bicycle-only event on county roads. In addition to these projects, Gersh also gave a progress update regarding a town parking situation involving a local business. Next up were Trustees Garrett Hancock and Grant Allen discussing their projects. One is the seeking of grant funding and planning for a potential new town hall. Also discussed was an update on the preliminary discussions started for a 20-year capital expenditure plan, as well as the potential CDPHE grant/loan program potential for the sludge room. Updates on the GIS project shared that the gentleman collecting the GPS locations of the manholes and documenting attributes of them for mapping may be seen around town driving an F-150 gray Super Crew pickup truck. So if you see him, he's doing his job. Trustee Ellen Warren was next discussing Main Street revitalization and the potential for some possible funding coming from the governor's $1 billion package. Warren stated that she is working hard to determine the best routes to explore, as there are many to navigate. The first reading of Ordinance 28-230, TAP transfer restrictions, and 28-180, non-acceptable waste, were discussed, with the second readings scheduled for March 18th. These proposed ordinances are available for review at the town office and online on their website. Mayor Brett Martin removed himself for the discussion regarding the Dove Creek Cemetery and the potential for the county/town working together on a solution. The new town animal control officer will be Adam Warren. Warren will begin his work on March 1st. 4 applicants submitted their interest in that position. There was the sheriff's report and further discussion on the opportunity to have an ordinance enforcement officer for the town, something that had been on the verge of happening a year ago before COVID struck all systems of government and personal life. The next workshop meeting will be held on Thursday, March 4th at 6:30 p.m. And now let's take a look at our local weather. It was a chilly morning, but today mostly sunny with a high near 37 degrees expected, with those cold north winds remaining around 10 to 15 miles an hour. For tonight, mostly clear and a low around 18. Cold north winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming southeast after midnight. For Friday, sunny with a high near 41 degrees. East-northeast winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour shift to the west-southwest by the afternoon. For Friday night, mostly clear and a low around 20, with south winds continuing around 10 miles an hour, shifting to the west after midnight. Into the weekend, Saturday, we're looking for a mostly sunny day with a high near 36, with northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, keeping that chill in the air, with Saturday night mostly cloudy, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy with a low around 16. For Sunday, sunny again with a high near 38. Sunday night mostly clear and a low around 18. And into March 1st, for Monday, sunny with a high near 44 degrees. Monday night mostly clear with a low around 24, and even warmer for Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 48 degrees. Tuesday night partly cloudy with a low around 25. You can sense that spring is coming soon. And now back to our news. A local accident at the post office in Dove Creek last week had everyone speculating on what might have happened. From the Facebook post of a drive-by video, you could see that the entire avalanche vehicle was inside the post office, as it had broken through the wall just north of the caged-over window section of the west side of the post office. The Dove Creek Press reported an update stating that the accident, which occurred at the Dove Creek Post Office on February 12, 2021, whereby a vehicle crashed into the west wall of the building, the cause of the crash was attributed originally to medical issues, as reported in the Dolores County Sheriff's Office. However, the driver in that accident contacted the DC Press to correct that report. He stated that the accident was due to a mechanical issue. As the article appeared on the front page of the Press last week, they thought it fair to update the information also on the front page. The post office also issued a note of thanks. They reported on 2/12/21 about 5:30 p.m. Quote, "We had an accident involving a vehicle coming through the rear of the post office, causing damage to the building and equipment. Due to the quick response of local law enforcement employees and our community, we were able to clean up the site and secure the building in an astonishing 2.5 hours. We want to thank everyone who came out to help and stayed to make sure that we could get things up and operational. Due to the overwhelming positive and can-do attitudes, we not only secured the building, but we didn't have to delay daily operations of the post office. We are so thankful that everyone involved in the accident were not injured and no postal employees were on site at the time of the incident. Words can't really express how thankful we are that in our time of need, everyone not only rose to the occasion, but went above and beyond to make us feel safe and supported. Special thanks go to Sheriff Don Wilson, Deputy Sheriff Eric Stiasny, ambulance crew Austin Barnett and Karen Keibel, Andrea Halley, Brandy and Randy Curtis, Chase Davis, Billy Spitzer, Tyler Eberts, Steve Davis and Thirsty Birds Inc., Tori Davis, Brett and Mary Martin, Logan Myers, Jenny Arthur, Daryl and Jamie Husky, Colton Husky, Neva and Mike McCleary, and Elizabeth McCleary. And we've been critically looking at what the Colorado State Legislature has been drumming up for 21. Maybe not all doom and gloom. Now the legislature moves on a bill allowing farmers, ranchers to sell meat directly to consumers, as reported in Complete Colorado, written by Scott Weiser. He reports 2 bills were recently presented to the Colorado General Assembly to help farmers and ranchers weather the dismal markets for their animal products caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the government's response. The 2 bills have since merged into one, which has been moved forward into the Senate. Reduced demand from severely restricted restaurants and slaughtering plant shutdowns have caused prices offered to livestock growers to plummet, and many farmers and ranchers are facing economic ruin. The bills were introduced February 16th. Senate Bill 21-079 was assigned to the Senate Health and Human Services Committee, and House Bill 21-1062 was assigned to the House Agriculture, Livestock, and Water Committee. On February 22nd, HB 1062 was killed, but it was then combined with the Senate, quote, "Deregulate Meat Sales Direct to Consumers" bill that was sponsored by Senator Jerry Sonnenberg, Republican from Sterling, and Representative Rod Pelton, Republican from Cheyenne Wells. The combined bill, short titled the Ranch to Plate Act, would allow farmers and ranchers to sell whole animals plus shares in livestock for future delivery, including cattle, calves, sheep, bison, goats, hogs, rabbits, and fish, and packaged meat they raised, slaughtered, and butchered. Removed from the amended bill was poultry, which includes all domesticated birds, including chickens, geese, ducks, and turkeys. A provision in the bill does say that the sale of rabbit or fish meat must be, quote, "derived from an animal raised by the person and slaughtered by the person." This is to prevent the selling of wild game and fish caught by the person, which is illegal under Colorado's game and fish laws. The bill exempts sales by a producer direct to the end user from the licensing and health department inspection requirements for commercial sale of meat products. It requires that the seller must notify buyers that the meat is, quote, "not subject to state regulation or inspection by a public health agency," and that the buyer is prohibited from reselling the meat. The bill also provides legal immunity against civil actions for damages caused by the meat being, quote, "inadequately cooked or improperly prepared for consumption." Commercial processing of an animal or animal share is permitted and may include making, quote, "value-added meat products such as sausage or jerky." State brand inspectors would only be required to inspect livestock, which includes cattle and sheep, once, immediately before being slaughtered. In May, Complete Colorado reported on rancher Rafe Schroeder, age 29, owner of Schroeder Ag in Campo, a tiny town in the southeast corner of the state. At the time, Schroeder was facing hard times because of COVID-19 shutdowns. the big four commercial cattle slaughterhouses and the feedlot ranchers must use to fatten up cattle before slaughter weren't accepting livestock from many independent producers due to lack of space and demand. The problem is that farmers and ranchers can't sell packaged meat at retail unless it's been packaged in a USDA-inspected butchery. Non-USDA butchers can slaughter and package meat, but only by private treaty, which is when someone buys a cow or part of a cow under a contract with the producer to raise, slaughter, and package the meat using a state-licensed butcher. The system is broken. Our nation relies too much on the big corporate-owned packing houses to feed this nation, Schroeder said. Any disruptions in these packing houses will bring turmoil to the cattle industry and our nation's food supply, he said. The bill addresses the problems that independent producers now face with the inspections and the limited number of private USDA-certified slaughterhouses they must use to butcher and package meat. Non-USDA-certified slaughterhouses and butchers are very limited in their capacity, and state regulations make it very difficult for producers to sell parts of one animal to more than one buyer. Because Schroeder and other producers can't butcher their livestock themselves and package it, buyers have to purchase a lot of meat at one time, which can be prohibitively expensive for a small family or a person, an individual. If this bill passes, livestock producers will be able to slaughter and butcher their own animals, package the meat in any quantity, and sell to an, quote, informed end consumer. While Congress has power over interstate transportation and sale of meat products by restricting sales to within Colorado, legislators hope that the USDA will allow the practice. Senate Bill 21079 is scheduled to be considered on the Senate floor this morning, Thursday, February 25th, for a second reading as part of the Senate consent calendar. And if passed, it will proceed to a third reading and then move on to the House. Though this appears to be a good step forward, possibly for our local ranchers, the agenda of the Denver State Capitol is clearly against cattle and other ranchers and pro-plant-based meat-like substitutes, as is described by the Governor Polis having officially designated March 20th to be a meat out day in Colorado, where people are encouraged to have a day's diet without meat. The first man, the governor's husband, is an admitted vegan, and efforts to move regulations and the popular culture away from meat eating is definitely part of this administration's agenda. So, though it may appear there's something positive in the legislature, and let's hope it does pass, it may not actually come to fruition. And a local note, the Dolores County Commissioners will be hosting the end of the month summary meeting with all department heads on Monday, March 1st at the beginning of their regularly scheduled meeting. A list of agenda items can be found on their Facebook page, DCBOCC, and on the courthouse doors. The public is asked not to come into the physical meeting unless you're on the agenda, but you can attend the meeting via Zoom. The link is also listed on the agenda. And also, here's a picture of this week's FFA gathering of tractors and trucks from the local group of kids at the high school. It was quite a sight to see, and we encourage them to continue potentially working in those types of industry as well to keep everything local. And if you'd like to catch the program online, visit our Facebook page. That's DCTV Daily News, or also on our YouTube channel. Both you can subscribe to or join in on the conversation. Again, this is your local community TV station. So if you have something you'd like to share, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com, or call the station and leave me a message at 970-677-4119. Thanks for tuning in to DCTV Daily News. If you like the program, please do like and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget, we have another episode of Talk Around Town coming up soon. This has been a production of DCTV for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Be well and keep thinking for yourself.